Mattithyahu, Matthew chapter 17. And after 6 days Yahusha took Kepha and Yaakov and Yochanan his brother, and brought them up on a high mountain by themselves, and he was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments became as white as the light. And see, Moshe and Eliyahu appeared to them, talking with him. And Kepha answering said to Yahushua, Adonai, it is good for us to be here. If you want, let us make here 3 booths, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu. While he was still speaking, see, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and see, a voice came out of the cloud saying, This is my bane, the beloved, in whom I delight. Hear him. And when the Talmudim heard, they fell on their faces and were much afraid. But Yahushua came near and touched them and said, Rise, and do not be afraid. And having lifted up their eyes, they saw no one but Yahushua only. And as they were coming down from the mountain, Yahushua commanded them, saying, Do not mention the vision to anyone until the bane of Adam is raised from the dead. And his Talmudim asked him, saying, Why then do the scribes say that Eliyahu has to come first? And Yahushua answering said to them, Eliyahu is indeed coming first, and shall restore all. But I say to you that Eliyahu has already come, and they did not recognize him, but did to him whatever they wanted. In this way the bane of Adam is also about to suffer by them. Then the Talmudim understood that he had spoken to them about Yochanan the Immerser. And when they came to the crowd, a man came up to him, kneeling down to him and saying, Adonai, have compassion on my son, for he is an epileptic and suffers badly, for he often falls into the fire and often into the water. And I brought him to your Talmudim, but they were unable to heal him. And Yahushua answering said, O generation, unbelieving and corrupted, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I put up with you? Bring him here to me. And Yahushua rebuked the demon, and it came out of him, and the child was healed from that hour. Then the Talmudim came to Yahushua by himself and said, Why were we unable to cast it out? And Yahushua said to them, Because of your unbelief. For truly I say to you, if you have belief as a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, Move from here to there, and it shall move, and no matter shall be impossible for you. But this kind does not go out except through prayer and fasting. And while they were staying in Galilee, Yahushua said to them, The bane of Adam is about to be delivered up into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the 3rd day he shall be raised up. And they were deeply grieved. And when they came into Capharnaum, those who received the tax came to Kepha and said, Does your teacher not pay the tax? He said, Yes. And when he came into the house, Yahushua spoke to him first, saying, What do you think, Shimon? From whom do the sovereigns of the earth take toll or tax? From their own sons, or from the strangers? Kepha said to him, From the strangers. Yahushua said to him, Then the sons are exempt. But, lest we cause them to stumble, go to the sea, cast in a hook, and take the fish that comes up first. And when you have opened its mouth, you shall find a coin. Take that and give it to them for me and you. Mattithyahu, Matthew chapter 18. At that time the Talmudim came to Yahushua, saying, Who then is greatest in the reign of the Shamayim? And Yahushua called a little child to him, put him in their midst, and said, Truly I say to you, unless you turn and become as little children, you shall by no means enter into the reign of the Shamayim. Whoever then humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the reign of the Shamayim. And whoever receives one little child like this in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to stumble, It is better for him that a millstone be hung around his neck, and that he be drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe to the world because of stumbling blocks! For it is necessary that stumbling blocks come, but woe to that man by whom the stumbling block comes. And if your hand or foot causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away from you. It is better for you to enter into life lame or crippled, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be thrown into the everlasting fire. And if your eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it away from you. It is better for you to enter into life with 1 eye, rather than having 2 eyes to be thrown into the fire of Gehinnom. See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that in the Shemayim their messengers always see the face of my Father who is in the Shemayim. For the bane of Adam has come to save what was lost. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, would he not leave the 99 on the mountains, going to seek the one that is straying? And if he should find it, truly I say to you, he rejoices more over that sheep than over the 99 that did not go astray. Thus it is not the desire of your Father who is in the Shemayim that one of these little ones should be lost. And if your brother sins against you, go and reprove him between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he does not hear, take with you 1 or 2 more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word might be established. And if he refuses to hear them, say it to the assembly. And if he refuses even to hear the assembly, let him be to you like a Gentile and a tax collector. Truly, I say to you, whatever you bind on earth shall be having been bound in the Shemayim, and whatever you loosen on earth shall be having been loosened in the Shemayim. Again, I say to you that if 2 of you agree on earth concerning any matter that they ask, it shall be done for them by my Father in the Shemayim. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in their midst. Then Kepha came to him and said, Adonai, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? Yahushua said to him, I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Because of this the reign of the Shemayim is like a certain man, a sovereign who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. And when he had begun to settle, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talatin. But as he was unable to pay, his master commanded that he be sold, with his wife and children and all that he had, and payment to be made. Then the servant fell down before him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I shall pay you all. And the master of that servant was moved with compassion, released him, and forgave him the debt. And that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 silver pieces. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me what you owe. Then his fellow servant fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, Have patience with me, and I shall pay you all. But he would not, and went and threw him into prison till he should pay the debt. And when his fellow servants saw what had been done, they were deeply grieved, and came and reported to their master all that had taken place. Then his master called him and said to him, Wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt, seeing you begged me. Should you not also have had compassion on your fellow servant, as I also had compassion on you? And his master was wroth, and delivered him to the torturers until he should pay all that was due to him. So also my Father of the Shemayim should do to you, if each of you from his heart does not forgive his brother his trespasses.